Hi there, good evening. Welcome along to the Transfer Show. Michael Bridge and James Savunda, I hope, will retain your interest. They're here to talk us through all the day's transfer news.
Welcome back to Anfield Signal, the channel you need for everything happening at Liverpool Football Club right now. Today's video is completely packed with news. We are going to talk about a shocking plan that could see 3 first-team players leave the club very soon. We will look at how Trent Alexander-Arnold and Hugo Ekitike reacted to Ibrahima Konate's emotional first appearance for Real Madrid. We will hear what the new manager has been saying about his defense after a big pre-season win. And before this video ends, we will also share 2 brand new transfer updates from the famous transfer insider, Fabrizio Romano. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and tell us in the comments which of today's stories shocks you the most. Now let's get straight into it. First up, it looks like it could be game over for 3 Liverpool players as a tough clear out of the squad seems to be coming. Richard Hughes, who is Liverpool's sporting director, is running out of time, and by now he clearly knows it. Liverpool have already spent close to £100 million this summer. Victor Munoz arrived from Osasuna for around £34 million, and Jeremy Jacquet completed his move from Rennes for roughly £60 million during the winter transfer window. Fans have spent months begging the club to bring in more players out wide, but a very uncomfortable truth is now starting to show itself. In order to bring new players in, Liverpool are going to have to sell players first, and they will have to do it fast. Here is a number that should worry every single Liverpool supporter. This entire summer, Liverpool have only earned around £700,000 from selling players. That is such a small amount of money that it barely covers 1 week of first-team wages at a club this size. That single transfer fee came from Bolton Wanderers, who paid for a young player named Lucas Stevenson. Now compare that tiny number to the price that Paris Saint-Germain reportedly wants for winger Bradley Barola, which has been valued at around £145 million, and you begin to understand just how big a gap Richard Hughes needs to close before the transfer window shuts on the 1st of September. So who exactly is heading toward the exit door? Sunday told its own story. Liverpool actually played 2 separate matches against the German club FC Köln on the same day. The first was a private match played behind closed doors, split into 2 35-minute halves at the club's AXA training center. The second was a full match played in front of a packed Anfield crowd later that day. Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott both started the private behind closed doors match, but neither of them was picked to play in the big match at Anfield afterward. In football, that kind of decision is rarely just a coincidence. According to reports from the Anfield Signal, those substitutions point directly toward both players being pushed out of the club. The situation looks especially difficult for Harvey Elliott. He returned to Anfield after a disappointing loan spell at Aston Villa, and he now has only 12 months left on his Liverpool contract, with no clear sign that the new manager trusts him with regular playing time. Aston Villa had reportedly been willing to pay up to £35 million for him last year, but that kind of money is almost certainly gone now, meaning Liverpool may have to accept a much smaller fee if they want to sell him before the deadline. Federico Chiesa's situation is arguably even more awkward. Since joining from Juventus back in 2024, the Italian forward has never really convinced either the previous manager or the current one. He has been linked with a return to Serie A in Italy, but here is the twist. Italian clubs so far have not been able to match both his high wage demands and the transfer fee Liverpool are asking for. This leaves him stuck in a kind of limbo, wanted by fans of a move, but not by any club actually willing to pay for him. And then there's Curtis Jones. The 25-year-old homegrown midfielder has barely featured during preseason, officially because of a hip problem that kept him out of last weekend's match against Monaco. However, the timing of that injury lines up rather suspiciously with growing transfer interest from Inter Milan. Sources now suggest that Richard Hughes is prepared to accept a fee of around £30 million to get the homegrown midfielder off the club's wage bill. That money would go a long way toward helping the new manager sign a new winger before the window closes. 3 careers are hanging by a thread right now, and the deadline is closing in fast. If all 3 of these exits actually happen, Liverpool could suddenly find themselves with a genuine war chest of money to finally sign Bradley Barola. But if the club fails to sell these players, they may be forced to start the new season with the same unbalanced squad that got the previous manager sacked. We will be tracking every twist in this story, so stay subscribed so you don't miss the moment any of these three players actually walks out the door. Moving on to our next story, Ekitike and Alexander-Arnold react as Konate makes his first appearance for Real Madrid. This one is going to sting for Liverpool fans, but we have to talk about it. Ibrahima Konate has now officially made his very first appearance in a Real Madrid shirt, and the reaction from his former Liverpool teammates has said everything about how this transfer actually happened behind the scenes. Konate left Liverpool this summer on a free transfer after his contract expired, a move that shocked plenty of supporters given that earlier reports had claimed he was close to signing a new deal at Anfield. As the months dragged on without any confirmation of a new contract, the writing was increasingly on the wall, and Real Madrid, who had already lured Trent Alexander-Arnold away the year before, swooped in to complete another reunion. On Sunday, under new Real Madrid boss Jose Mourinho, Konate was finally given his chance on the pitch, coming on for 45 minutes in a pre-season friendly match against Schalke. In that time, the 27-year-old defender kept a clean sheet, made one interception, and completed 2 clearances. A solid, if unspectacular, return as he continues working on his fitness and building chemistry with a brand new group of teammates. It's what happened after the match that has really got fans talking. Konate posted to Instagram following the game, writing that it was the first time wearing this shirt, calling it an honor, and adding, "Hala Madrid." The comment section beneath that post quickly filled up with support, and 2 names in particular jumped out at Liverpool fans scrolling through: Hugo Ekitike and Trent Alexander-Arnold, both of whom left friendly, encouraging messages for their old teammate. Other Real Madrid stars, including Kylian Mbappe, Dan Huijsen, Vinicius Jr. and Arda Güler, also joined in with their own welcoming comments for Konate in his new dressing room. For Liverpool supporters, there is something quietly painful about watching 2 former stars publicly celebrate a third one joining their new club. Alexander-Arnold's departure already felt like a gut punch, and now Konate has followed the exact same path, leaving out of contract and walking straight into the arms of Real Madrid. It raises an uncomfortable question that Liverpool's hierarchy will eventually need to answer. How many more long-serving stars can this club afford to lose to Real Madrid before something changes structurally in how contracts are handled at Anfield? For now, Konate officially starts his new career for real with Real Madrid next weekend, and Liverpool fans will be watching every single minute of it, whether they want to admit it or not. Next, let's talk about some good news for once. The new manager has been singling out 3 Liverpool stars as he faces up to a painful truth about his squad. After a torrid pre-season tour of the United States that left Liverpool's new head coach dangerously short of fit and available defenders, Sunday's 2-0 win over FC Köln at Anfield gave him exactly the boost he needed heading into the new season. Liverpool's pre-season had genuinely been a defensive crisis. The manager was forced to field teenagers like Amara Nalo alongside 22-year-old Luke Chambers, while more experienced established defenders dropped like flies around him. Virgil van Dijk was given time off after the World Cup. Joe Gomez was ruled out early with an injury. Jeremy Jacquet was recovering from a knock, and Giovanni Leone remains sidelined with a long-term knee problem. It's honestly no exaggeration to say that at one stage, the manager's centre-back options were little more than academy prospects and a captain running on empty. Sunday changed the mood completely. Goals from Cody Gakpo and crucially from new signing Jeremy Jacquet secured a confidence-boosting 2-0 victory, which followed 2 straight pre-season defeats to Leeds United and Monaco. Speaking after the match, the manager made a point of singling out 3 individual players by name. When asked whether he was impressed by his 2 new centre-backs, he said yes, both of them, adding that Jacquet had played really well and that Ronald Araujo had also played really well when he came on. He said that with 2 new faces playing their first game together, they had done so well. He didn't stop there either, adding praise for right-back Jeremy Frimpong too, saying it was also a very good performance from Frimpong, who played the full 90 minutes at right-back, helping the team offensively while also closing things down well defensively on his side. But do not mistake this relief for full satisfaction. The manager has been openly frustrated by the lack of incoming transfers this summer, particularly in defense and out wide, and he made that clear again after the game. He said the team needed that feeling of finishing with a clean sheet and winning the game. He admitted the first half had been better than the second, but said that at least they kept their organization and their composure and found a way to finish with a clean sheet in a 2-0 win. He said they needed this feeling before the season starts. With Ibrahima Konate now gone on a free transfer, there is open competition for the second centre-back spot alongside captain Van Dijk, contested between £55 million signing Jeremy Jacquet and Barcelona loan player Ronald Araujo. That is a huge amount of responsibility to place on a debutant and a player still settling into a brand new league, with the Premier League season opener against Newcastle now just a week away. The manager has some early answers, but whether he has enough depth to survive an injury crisis once the fixtures start piling up is a completely different question, and one that Liverpool fans should watch nervously as the transfer window edges toward its close. Now for a fun little story. Adam Wharton has sparked excitement among Liverpool fans after winning an eBay auction battle over a signed Steven Gerrard shirt. Sometimes the smallest moments say the most, and this one had Liverpool supporters buzzing across social media within hours. Footage emerged of Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton taking part in a live eBay auction, bidding on a signed Steven Gerrard shirt from Liverpool's legendary 2005 Champions League triumph in Istanbul. The clip shows Wharton anxiously watching the countdown clock before eventually landing the winning bid of £410, roughly $555 for the commemorative shirt. The shirt carries the words European Champions Istanbul 2005, along with Gerrard's autograph, prominently displayed above the iconic Carlsberg logo of that era. As the auction closed and his win was confirmed, Wharton could not contain his excitement, grinning and shouting, "We got it!" as he leaned back in his chair. The footage then cuts to the 22-year-old outside, unwrapping the prize shirt after it was delivered to his door. Why does this matter beyond just being a bit of fun? Context is everything here. Wharton has been persistently linked with a move to Liverpool, and this isn't even the first time he's shown his admiration for Gerrard. Back in the spring, when asked to build his perfect footballer using the best qualities from different players, Wharton picked Kylian Mbappe for pace, Lionel Messi for finishing, Sergio Busquets for football intelligence, and for passing, he picked Steven Gerrard, a remarkably specific choice from a player who wasn't even 4 years old when Gerrard was in his prime. It tells you exactly how deeply this England international has studied Liverpool's history. There have already been reports of significant transfer interest, with some accounts suggesting Liverpool could face competition from both Real Madrid and Barcelona for Wharton's signature, with a valuation touching around £100 million. Crystal Palace, for their part, have made it clear that they are in no rush to sell him. Put it all together, and Liverpool fans have every reason for a small flicker of hope. A young England midfielder with genuine Anfield history knowledge, tracked by the club's recruitment staff, publicly celebrating a Gerrard shirt just weeks before the transfer window closes. It might just be a coincidence, or it might be the kind of subtle signal that means everything 6 months down the line. Keep this name bookmarked, Reds. Next up, Gravenberch has thrown open the door to the idea of more Liverpool transfers happening before the deadline. Gravenberch has never been shy about sharing his opinion, and his latest comments will have given Liverpool supporters plenty to think about, both in terms of what he said about a new teammate and what he refused to rule out for the rest of the transfer window. Let's start with the on-pitch context. Jeremy Jacquet made only his second appearance in a Liverpool shirt on Sunday and his very first under the new manager. Yet he delivered a performance good enough to have his name on everyone's lips by full-time. The French under-21 international, who completed his move from Rennes on the 1st of July, played just 45 minutes before being replaced by fellow new arrival Ronald Araujo, who joined on a season-long loan from Barcelona just last week. In that half hour and a bit more, Jacquet looked assured and composed, and crucially, got himself on the score sheet with a close-range finish just before half-time. Gravenberch was full of praise for both new arrivals and for the way the new manager has set the team up since taking charge last month. But it was his comments on the transfer window that will have really caught the eye of anyone watching Liverpool's business closely. Asked directly about the possibility of further signings before the 1st of September deadline, Gravenberch gave a measured but pointed answer. He said that is up to the club, adding that he thinks Liverpool have good footballers, but if the club wants to buy more players, then that's up to them to decide. He said the team has to do really better than last season and that they'll have to wait and see what happens and see what the season brings in terms of their minimum aim. Read between the lines and there is a subtle message there. Gravenberch is far too diplomatic to publicly demand new signings, but his acknowledgement that Liverpool have to do really better than last season is a quiet admission that last summer's record spending didn't fully translate into results and that standing still this window may simply not be good enough. With Curtis Jones potentially heading to Inter Milan and Stefan Bajcetic attracting interest from Spain, Liverpool's midfield options could look considerably thinner come the 1st of September. The numbers back up this concern. The established trio of Alexis McAllister, Gravenberch and Dominik Szoboszlai struggled for real consistency last season, and if both Jones and Bajcetic end up departing, the manager would have to lean heavily on Wataru Endo and academy graduate Trey Neone for cover. That is an incredibly thin margin for a club that is expected to compete on 4 different fronts this season. Gravenberch's comments sound diplomatic on the surface, but underneath there is a quiet warning that even Liverpool's own players are starting to notice the gaps in the squad. Now let's talk about Allison, who has made his feelings crystal clear on Liverpool's new look defence. If there was one man best placed to judge Liverpool's revamped backline on Sunday, it was the goalkeeper standing directly behind it. And Alisson Becker did not hold back in his assessment. Liverpool wrapped up their pre-season campaign with a confidence-boosting 2-0 win over FC Köln at Anfield, a result built largely around the debuts of 2 new centre-backs. Jeremy Jacquet turned heads with a commanding first-half display, capping it off with a goal after Cody Gakpo had already opened the scoring. Jacquet was replaced at half-time by Ronald Araujo, whose second-half introduction helped Liverpool secure only their 2nd clean sheet of the entire pre-season programme. Speaking after full-time, Allison made his admiration plain and simple. He said both of them played really, really well, adding that Jacquet had a great first half, great on the ball and great defending as well, controlling the space in behind him. That is high praise coming from a goalkeeper who has watched plenty of defenders come and go during his time at Anfield, and whose opinion on defensive solidity carries genuine weight inside that dressing room. But this was about far more than just one comfortable pre-season win for Allison. The Brazilian used the moment to set out his broader hopes for the season ahead under the new manager, striking a tone that balanced genuine excitement with a grounded sense of realism. He said he is really excited and looking forward to the season, but wants to keep his feet on the ground, admitting the team still has things to improve and doesn't yet have consistency for the full 90 minutes, but that they are going to get there. He said the best thing is winning while still having space for improvement, and that they need to carry that mentality into the first game of the season against Newcastle. That final line is really worth sitting with. Allison is essentially admitting that Liverpool are not the finished product, not even close, but that there is enough evidence to genuinely believe that winning trophies is still possible this season. Both Jacquet and Araujo will now compete for a starting spot alongside captain Van Dijk when the campaign kicks off against Newcastle. And if Alisson's assessment holds up over time, Liverpool may have finally found a long-term defensive solution following Konate's exit. If the manager, the midfield and the team's own goalkeeper are all saying similar things after just one pre-season appearance, that is a genuine reason for cautious optimism heading into the new campaign. Moving on to a trickier subject, Liverpool have reportedly opened talks over a risky departure for Stefan Bajcetic as a La Liga side circles with interest. Just when Liverpool fans thought the midfield picture couldn't get any more complicated, transfer insider Fabrizio Romano has dropped a fresh update that could leave the new manager dangerously light in the engine room. Here is the wider picture. First, Liverpool's headline transfer targets right now are Bradley Barola and Ibrahima Embay, both currently at Paris Saint-Germain, and personal terms are already understood to be agreed with both players. If those 2 deals get over the line, Liverpool's incoming transfer business for the summer would largely be considered complete, joining Jeremy Jacquet, Ronald Araujo on loan, and Victor Munoz as confirmed new arrivals. Notice what's missing from that list, though. There has been no new midfielder brought in all summer. And with Curtis Jones already expected to depart for Inter Milan, as we covered earlier in this video, the middle of the park is about to get a whole lot thinner. That is exactly what makes this next update so alarming. According to Romano, Spanish side Getafe have now formally opened talks to sign the 21-year-old Stefan Bajcetic. Posting on social media, Romano confirmed that Getafe have opened talks to sign Bajcetic from Liverpool, with the formula for a deal currently being discussed between the clubs. Bacetic has endured a genuinely brutal run of injuries over the past several years, and the argument for letting him leave to rebuild his career with regular first-team football elsewhere is a reasonable one on paper. But the timing, with Jones potentially walking out the same door, could not be worse for Liverpool's squad depth. If Bacetic is retained instead, he would provide vital cover behind the established trio of McAllister, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, with Endo and academy graduate Trey Nioni being the only other recognised options in midfield. Liverpool are expected to compete on 4 fronts again this season, and losing 2 central midfielders in the same window without bringing in a replacement leaves the manager badly exposed the moment injuries strike, which, given this club's recent history with injuries, feels less like an if and more like a when. A respected reporter offered some clarity last month, stating that he personally rates Bacetic highly and wants to properly assess him during pre-season before making a final decision. Several Spanish clubs, including Rayo Vallecano and now Getafe, are said to be keen on signing him. If the manager decides to keep him, Bacetic would reportedly be offered a contract renewal, given his current deal expires next summer. If not, he would be free to pursue that long-awaited return to Spain. Either way, this decision could end up defining just how thin Liverpool's midfield looks come the business end of the season. Now for one of the biggest updates of the day. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that an African wonder kid is now free to join Liverpool. Richard Hughes may be entering his final weeks as Liverpool's sporting director, but he is refusing to go quietly. And the latest confirmation from Fabrizio Romano suggests one of his parting gifts to the club could be a genuine wonder kid. Hughes' legacy at Anfield remains genuinely mixed. He deserves real credit for his role in bringing the new manager to the club, a decision that could end up defining Liverpool's next chapter if it works out well. But there is no escaping the other side of his time in charge. Last summer's spending spree, eye-catching on paper, ultimately left the club with a squad that was, in the words of multiple reports, seriously unbalanced. A factor that ultimately cost the previous manager his job. With just 2 weeks left before the deadline, Hughes now has one final opportunity to leave Anfield, having actually finished the job properly. The clearest gap in the current squad remains out on the right wing, and Liverpool have set their sights on a genuinely exciting young talent in Senegalese winger Ibrahima Embay, who became the youngest African player to score at this summer's World Cup. A remarkable achievement for a player who is still only 18 years old. That record alone tells you everything about the ceiling this young player has. Now for the confirmation that has Liverpool fans buzzing. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Embay is now free to leave Paris Saint-Germain. And with Liverpool understood to be leading the race for his signature, there is genuine belief inside the club that a deal can be completed before the summer transfer window shuts. Given his blend of searing pace, elite dribbling ability, and a proven record of delivering on the biggest stage in world football, it is not difficult to see why the coaching staff are so keen to get this deal over the line. Landing an 18-year-old with World Cup pedigree and a PSG academy background would represent exactly the kind of forward-thinking, high-ceiling signing that Liverpool's recruitment department has built its reputation on in recent years. If this deal does go through, expect Ibrahima Embay's name to be trending across every Liverpool fan account within minutes of the official confirmation. Keep this tab open, Reds, because Romano rarely gets these calls wrong, and the next update could come at any moment. And finally, our last story of the day, Fabrizio Romano confirms that Liverpool are closing in on a lightning-quick attacker. Just when you thought this news update couldn't get any bigger, Fabrizio Romano has delivered a second bombshell in the space of 24 hours, this time on a player who has been dominating Liverpool's transfer headlines all summer long. The urgency here really cannot be overstated. Liverpool are staring down the barrel of potentially losing not just a big chunk of Mohamed Salah's enormous goal contribution from last season, but possibly Cody Gakpo too, with Tottenham reportedly ramping up their pursuit and Liverpool said to be increasingly open to selling him. Between them, Salah and Gakpo were directly responsible for the majority of Liverpool's goals and assists during the title-winning 2024 to 2025 campaign. Losing both of them in the same transfer window without bringing in proper replacements would be an enormous gamble, even for a club with Liverpool's recruitment pedigree. That is exactly what makes Bradley Barola such an obvious target. The Frenchman recorded a top speed of 36.7 kilometers per hour last season, making him the 5th fastest player in the entire Champions League. He is exactly the kind of explosive in-behind runner that fits the profile the new manager wants to build his attack around, especially alongside creative talents like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz. And now here's the update that Liverpool fans have been waiting weeks for. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Romano delivered his most confident assessment yet on this deal, telling viewers directly that he can tell them, speaking to his sources, that his confidence on Bradley Barola joining Liverpool is growing, and that the confidence is absolutely growing. He said the chances of seeing Bradley Barola join Liverpool from Paris Saint-Germain are growing. That is about as strong a signal as Romano ever gives before a deal is actually completed. And with PSG reportedly bringing in fresh attacking reinforcements of their own, the door appears to be opening for Barola's move to Anfield to finally happen. A quick note for anyone tracking the saga closely. Earlier reporting suggested PSG had valued Barola at around £145 million, an enormous outlay even by Liverpool's recent standards. But growing suggestions that the French club are willing to lower their asking price could bring this deal firmly within reach before deadline day arrives. Combine this update with the earlier news on Ibrahima Embay, and Liverpool's attacking rebuild could turn out to be one of the most exciting in the club's recent history. Two elite, blistering pace attackers, both closing in at the same time, and both confirmed by the most trusted name in the transfer business. That's everything for today, Reds. We covered 3 careers hanging in the balance, an emotional Real Madrid reunion for a former favorite, a defense that finally seems to be finding its feet, a midfield that is being stretched thinner by the day, and 2 red-hot Romano confirmations to finish things off. Stay subscribed with notifications turned on so you never miss an update as this transfer window reaches its final chaotic days. Drop a comment below telling us which story has you most excited or most worried about what's coming next. And we'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds.